Hey, real quick before we dive in, if you're a woman in midlife who's tired of the cliches and ready to live out loud, we're glad you're here.
Because you are definitely in the right place. We're not here to age gracefully, we're here to age boldly. So if you love real talk, big laughs, and the occasional spicy truth bomb, make sure to follow us on TikTok at Spicy Midlife Women for even more unfiltered midlife magic.
Because let's be honest, midlife isn't a crisis, it's an awakening.
Well, today you are here with Jules, that's me, and Michelle over here.
Me.
Hey, everybody. We are your two spicy midlife women from Seattle, Washington, and we are here to share real life stories and have no BS conversations with you. Right, Michelle?
Oh, you better believe it. We're here to help all you midlife women redefine relationships, ditch toxic cycles, and reclaim your power one episode at a time.
I am really excited to get into this next little series with you, Michelle.
Yeah.
So we are here today with episode 2 of our rebrand. And what we really want to talk with everybody about is what it means to be a spicy midlife woman.
Yeah, what is that anyways, right?
Well, you're spicy.
And anytime I tell somebody, they ask, what's your podcast called? And I just throw it out there, Spicy Midlife Women. They're like, ooh,
They get it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than having that spiciness, I guess, as we kind of are getting on in years, as I've heard you say before. And it was funny, like today I was with a new agent and we were talking about, just the process and the things we're doing. And I made some mention about her being less than half my age. She was, how old are you? And I told her, and she's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Really? You seem so young. And I was like, no, that's just me being really immature.
From outside stereotypical perceptions,
Yeah.
it's you being immature.
Yeah, I'm really not immature. I'm
Yeah.
actually very mature, but I'm kind of goofy, like we were talking about. And I guess what that really boils down to is when we're talking about being a woman, first of all, that is in this day and age that we live in right now, and having your voice. That's really kind of what we're talking about when we talk about being spicy. It's really kind of holding your own in the world that we live in a lot of different ways, which we're going to get into throughout the different episodes. But
I think too, it's things as we get into this, because what we want to do here is give other midlife women an idea of what we're talking about
exactly
when we say spicy midlife women. And we're going to, in this episode, go over some of the key things that can really help fuel that fire and to keep it burning inside of you when it comes to these things. So things that are of mindset, body, wisdom,
just experiences and things that,
yes.
that you have. And so we feel like this is the direction we would like to share with all of you, because these are the places that we've been in our lives. And not saying that we have all of the answers by any stretch, but we certainly have a lot of experiences and things to share. And in doing so, hope that we're able to shed light, on the things that might be important in your life or the things that you're having questions with in your life.
For example, right? Desires that you have within. A lot of times I think in midlife, especially earlier on, you start to question if those things are valid and if it's okay if the things that you think about are somewhat changing or evolving. I think we tend to maybe question if it's okay, some of those things.
And you likely are questioning some of the things that you have maybe accepted over time, whether it be emotionally or physically or spiritual, so many different aspects. But you may be in a place where you're starting to question, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this what it's about? Am I happy with the decisions that I've made? And if you're not, or you want to enhance the things that you're already doing, we want to discuss some of those things, because as you kind of step into the next aspects of your life, there's nothing that says everything has to be exactly the same. And one thing that's important to note there, I think, is all of you may have people in your lives that are comfortable with the way you are, or comfortable with the way they perceive you. And so having changes in the way you view anything, whether it be relationships, whether it be sex, whether it be intimacy, whatever it is, might be uncomfortable for other people. And that's something that you have to kind of manage through as well.
So just know for future, we're going to dive into some of that. Can't wait to share more.
I know. I can't either, because I think some of it's going to be rather juicy.
What else? What are some other things that encompass spiciness in midlife, Jules?
Well, I would say, and this is kind of speaking from my personal experience, but sexual confidence that you have with yourself and with what you maybe don't really know a lot about, or what you are wanting to learn more about, is something that, not only just comes from within your own curiosity, but also comes from the things that we're seeing out in the world and what you feel like maybe you have been missing along the way.
And I like what you said about, it's the confidence that comes from within, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not about looking like you're 25 years old.
Yeah.
Because mama, you are not 25 years old anymore, right?
And I think looking 25 would be kind of weird anyway.
It's counterproductive.
Yeah.
We want to look good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we don't want to look good and put together, but it's the confidence really going to give you that.
Well, walking,
right?
You can tell, all of you can tell when someone walks into a room with that level of confidence. It's in their step. It's in the way that they, pan the room. It's in what they're dressed like. It's the way they carry themselves.
Can
really.
we just talk about the fact that I wore white go-go-ish type boots to work today?
I know, you told me that.
And I just didn't even bat an eyelash. Everybody at work knew that I bought those for FYI, just had a birthday and the theme was 60s. So I bought myself some white boots that I had worn with the outfit. And both Julie and I were like, I kind of like these.
Yeah.
Totally wore them to work today, but it just made me think about what you were just saying, that confidence. Not that I have to wear white boots with confidence, but I didn't even bat an eyelash. I walked in, I had my outfit on. I just wore it without question, and nobody said anything. Nobody said, oh my gosh, I can't believe we were wearing those, because they knew I was getting them for the party, right?
Yeah.
And that it was for a 60s theme. But yeah,
it pretty much goes with half your wardrobe. But see, I think that's part of it too, is that you just don't give a shit
if
other people give a shit.
Yeah.
And why
exactly.
should you?
Yeah.
And I think that's some of it too. Mine has always been like, don't show too much cleavage, try to be a little bit more modest, because I always had a larger chest. And I still am kind of like that to some degree. Less is more. You don't want everybody to see it. Why buy the cow when you can have the milk for free? You've heard those things a million times before. But I'm like, if you got a good rack, what the hell?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Did I just say if you have a good rack? Oh my God, I did. Didn't
Yeah.
Maybe I should lower my voice if you.
Baby got rack.
Baby got.
Oh, back. We got both of that. Yeah, right. We got rack and back.
Yeah. So sexual confidence.
Anyways,
important. And just how you carry yourself, the importance of it.
Confidence is spicy, right?
It's sexy.
It is sexy.
I think confidence is super sexy, and lack of confidence just makes you kind of turn your head. When you see it in other men, or if you see men that aren't confident, or you see women that aren't confident, you want to just go give them a big hug.
It kind of along those lines too is the confidence that comes with using your brain, right? And not your body. It's not, we've talked before about toxic femininity.
Yes, we have.
Right? So when you're using your body to get things and things that's a whole other topic. But, when you start with your brain and using it in a positive, confident way, that makes a difference.
And it could be simple little things like how you choose your words, and, the thoughtfulness you put into the things that you're saying, the type of filler words that you use when you're talking. If you use filler words, if you're in a more casual setting, obviously you might speak a lot differently than if you're in a corporate setting. So anyway, the other thing too is we all have seen where, there are women out there that really use their sexuality, their femininity to garner not only attention, but, to get things accomplished, in whatever capacity. And so I just think that's one way, I guess, people can get things done. I would prefer, for myself anyway, to be darn cute, but also have a brain and be able to carry on a conversation.
Hair flip right there.
Toss. I think that comes from Wicked. Toss. Anyway, the other thing too, when it comes to sex, so when we're talking about our sexuality, is women, and this is speaking about women, our gender, really. It's like we've been in a place throughout history where we have been been a product of, well, that doesn't sound right. We've been in a place throughout history where pleasure really has not been something that has been a priority. Sexually, we have been someone else's pleasure, or we are put in place for other people's pleasure.
Well, to give it.
Yeah, to give
and
pleasure.
not to receive, and
Right.
and not receive.
And so how many
So
women
much.
out there have never had an orgasm?
Right? I just didn't. I've learned that more and more as I've gotten in year. I'll say it again. That's so sad.
It's sad, but you know what? I can totally tell you that it's not something that I even was paying attention to, which kind of goes into a lot of other topics as well. But, you know, it has to do with menopause and some other stuff too. But it wasn't like something that I would look forward to, really. It wasn't, it was fun, but it wasn't like I was looking for it kind of a thing. And I think a lot of that's because I was never really put in a position where I was taught how to do some of those things.
No pun intended. Yeah. Put in a position.
I don't know. Michelle has the whole Kama Sutra book. But anyway, you know, there's so many different aspects to it that we don't give ourselves permission for, you know, and our own understanding our own sexuality, what brings us pleasure, what's important to us in terms of intimacy, are all things that we need to be able to feel comfortable sharing with whoever our partner is. Ourselves.
Flip the script, ladies.
Yeah.
Right? Figure out what it is that brings you pleasure. Do exploration to figure that out so that you can then, if you have a partner, share it with them too. And, you know, double the pleasure. Do you remember that commercial with Doublemint gum? Self-exploration, double your pleasure. There you go.
Well, you know, doubling your pleasure is always a good thing. That doesn't mean getting into a threesome, but okay.
Oh.
That's when you said double your pleasure. I'm like, well, I mean, that's not what I meant, but I mean, it could mean that for some people, I suppose. But that particular thing I wasn't. But no, like, you know, toys or having, you know, fantasies that you pull out, and people get embarrassed by this stuff.
Well, I think because a lot of it is so much about performance and what it looks like, not what it is feeling like. Right. So being able to go outside of that and just really explore with yourself and with each other. Anyways,
we'll be getting into
that
it.
Is spicy too. So that's more of what makes us spicy. Yeah.
And another category that we'll be spending some time in is having your voice. And we're not just talking about just having, like, being outspoken all the time or anything like that. It's not the way you have your voice. It's the fact that you feel like you can have your voice. So I can think of times in my past where I would just not say anything because why get into an argument about something with an individual who thought so differently and wasn't open-minded or what have you. It could be any number of things, but even having your voice, and we were talking about sex a minute ago, but even having your voice in the bedroom.
Sure.
You know, and saying what you want, what you need. A lot of people are not comfortable.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah.
Faster. Up there. To the side. A little to the left.
To the left. To the left. Okay. But you get her point, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. And then
just giving tips. Oh, tips. Just the tip. There you go. Anyways, moving on.
I said that to my daughter the other day about something completely different. I was like, just the tip. She's like, Mom. I was like, I didn't mean it that way. And she goes, do you know what that means? And I just looked at her like, sure. I've never heard that before. For all you ladies out there who are the women over 40, which is really who a lot of our audience is, it's like you have either started or you will be starting to experience symptoms of hormones, you know, hormones leaving your body
or lack of,
or lack thereof, which affect so many different aspects of you physically, you know, how brain fog or, you know, dryness or just libido in general, you know, your level of patience with people. There's so many different factors to it, but understand that it doesn't define you. And there are ways to handle these things so you can live your life in a good way and you don't have to suffer, you know, through hormones, you know, wreaking havoc on your body. And again, another thing that I'm going to say, Michelle, you are such a biatch that she's never had a freaking hot flash. I'm like, who is she?
I mean,
she has like amazing hormones,
I guess.
But I've had enough hot flashes for both of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate that. Jules taking one for the team.
I've taken several for the team on that one. But
that stuff does matter.
Yeah,
I guess is the point. And being having your voice, being open to it, again, exploring options on what things can help or not help. I think these are a lot of things that women in midlife tend to just think, well, is what it is.
That's the way it's
That's
supposed
the
to
way
be.
it's supposed to be. Have patience, even though you're emotional. Like, have sex, even though it's not feeling great. All of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then just like we were talking about, be spicy. Ask questions. Have a voice.
Yeah. And I think too is being able to educate ourselves, really talking with other women, or I wouldn't say commiserating, but comparing notes even, there's things that work for certain people that don't work for others. And, it is a process that our bodies are going to go through. And so we must embrace it, really. I mean, it's something that I'm going to embrace. I mean, yes, is my hair getting a little thinner? Yes, is my skin changing a little bit? I don't have the whole midsection thing yet, but I probably will. I mean, there's just things that
Well, there you go. It's a trade-off. I got that enough for you. You got my hot flashes. I got your midsection. It's all good.
See what we deal with, you guys.
Oh.
What are some other areas you think we will be diving into that will define, kind of give our audience a better idea of what it means to be spicy?
Well, a lot of this, it seems like a lot of what we're talking about is sexuality and having to do with our bodies, but there's so many areas that affects. Like,
I think
not
Michelle's a
just
horn dog.
just not just the sex part, but I was going to say sensuality as well. I think that is something, to my point here, it's not just for the bedroom. Sexuality is not just for the bedroom, okay? It's a life force. You need to reignite it and move through it. And there's so many things like art, music, dance, how you dress, the way you carry yourself, all of those things.
Our expressions
like we were
of you.
saying, our expressions of you give you confidence. It can be super sexy. Engaging in those types of activities, like I was saying, art, music, dance. I mean, get me on the dance floor. Watch out.
I know.
So, and that's
you wouldn't even know her knees hurt.
My knees.
But it's even little things like taking care of yourself with, really yummy lotions, or self-care with, taking hot baths or meditating, or all of these things directly impact our world around us and how we view ourselves, and how the world views us too. So I think those are important things to note and not apologize about.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That part of what makes a spicy midlife woman is being unapologetically themselves. We talked about that, and there's so many facets of that we are super excited to bring to this platform. And I think it's what people need to hear. I think it's what we've learned about ourselves as we have gone through the years. We get a lot of compliments and some shit, but that's just the reminder, like, okay, I like how I'm living life.
Right.
I don't want to be the stereotypical norm. That is not me. It doesn't have to be. And really, when you go inward and start asking yourself a lot of the things that we were just talking about, and if you're really true to yourself and what you want and how you feel and how you want to feel,
then none of it's going to matter.
That's right. If you're being true to yourself.
There's a young lady or a woman who I think she's in her 50s that was here for Michelle's party. And she had tickets to Kendrick Lamar. And someone else who's, a little older had said, why do you want to see Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah. How old are you?
How old are you? And I'm just like, leave her alone. She wants to go see Kendrick Lamar. God.
Yeah. And obviously they're not like us.
Yeah. I was like, we're not like them. They're not like us. Yeah. But I was really proud of her for going to, because those are exactly the things. And honestly, if that would not have been an outside concert and pouring down rain, I probably would have tried to go with her.
Yeah. And I know who you're talking about. And she is absolutely 100% unapologetically herself at all times. And if you're listening, I love you for it. And just like I was saying, through music and art especially, she, is all over it.
She is definitely a spicy lady.
She is.
So it's just a term that we kind of came up for, everyone, that, when we think about like how we want to view the world and how we choose to walk through it, spicy was the word that seemed to resonate with both of us.
Because it's hot.
Yeah. Hot.
Yeah.
So anyway, this gives you guys a good idea of what we're going to try and be focusing on for all of you, and bringing you insight into things that are going to be hopefully enlightening
Yeah.
and help you carve your own path if you have any questions about what you're doing or how you're doing it, or just anything really that is involving your maturity and growth as a woman who is, starting to move on to the next chapter of her life. And you might be very early into this. You might be, a 40-year-old woman who's in the midst of dealing with kids and carpooling and all that kind of stuff, and starting to go, what the hell am I doing? And it's like, is this what my life is? All those sorts of things are directly related to what we're talking about, because we've been through a lot of these different cycles, Yeah.
scenarios, situations.
And the other cool thing, Michele, that I wanted to make sure we mentioned before we sign off on this episode is that the community that we're planning to have together, all of you, really, we want together as a community where we can really bounce a lot of questions off of each other. We can, tell our stories, all of these things. So that is coming, and we are looking forward to getting that together for all of you in the next couple of weeks. We'll be probably putting some things together to share with you. But in the meantime, we just really wanted to let everyone know how excited we are to be here with all of you and provide a resource that is for you to be the best version of yourself.
And a couple of other things I just want to give people to think about until they listen to the next episode, or just based on what we've talked about here today. Ask yourself some questions, right?
Okay.
And for example, ask yourself, am I really living life for myself or just meeting other people's expectations, right?
Going through the motions.
Yep. Or, how can I build stronger, more meaningful connections at this point in my life? Right?
Yeah. And am I conforming versus being authentic?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's not one to be ashamed of. If you feel like you're conforming, it's more like you've fallen into a pattern and you are an authentic person. It's just maybe not sharing it with the folks that are around you for many different reasons.
Yeah.
So that just gives you kind of an idea if you can walk away from this and ask yourself some of these questions and not necessarily have answers or want to hear what other people are saying or how other people have managed to maneuver through things that you're maybe currently struggling with or that you have, embraced and done really well. These are all things we'll be kind of bringing to the table.
So if you're asking those questions and you don't know the answer or you can't wait to get more, tune in next time, ladies.
Yes.
All right. Because we're going to we'll be bringing you all the dish with all the spice.
Well, until then, we are on which socials, Michele?
You can find us out on Facebook and Instagram, even YouTube. But yes, definitely the socials, Facebook and Instagram at Spicy Midlife Women podcast. And go check us out. And like Julie was saying, stay tuned for being part of a big community in regard to this and getting support and friendship from other women who are in the same place so that we can be stronger together.
That's right.
Until then, though,
stay spicy. Bye, everybody.
See you later.